Hi, my name is Daniel Bechtel. I'm running customer support for OverOps, and today's video is about installing our connector and agent on your computer. You might be running on a Mac or Windows or maybe even Linux or strictly running in Docker containers. There will be video for each of those, but today's video is about installing the connector and agent in Docker containers. From a prerequisite standpoint, we support Java 8 and Java 11. Support for Java 17, the next LTS version is coming out soon. But from a Docker container, that doesn't matter. But if you're installing it on Mac or Windows or Linux, you need to remember that. So in this case, please downgrade to one of the supported versions. So we start on this landing page, which you get redirected to when you signed up for our trial and logged into our dashboard. And that's where we start. Next step is you select Java, as we're running Java today in a Docker container. Click Next, and it gives you the instructions how to install the collector. There are two parts to our installation. The first one is to install our Docker container for our collector. First step is to create the network, which I'm copying right now, and run that in my terminal session. And here the container is created, or our network is created. The second part is to download and run our container or our image for our collector. As I'm making this video before the official release version is released, I'm running this against my local backend, as you can see, an IP address here instead of our official dashboard URL. So I'm going to have to make a small change to this Docker run command and add this backend IP address to my script. Here we go. As you can see, additional variable here. Now you don't have to do that. That is just for this video series because, as I said, I'm creating this before it was officially released. But when we're starting this, it's downloading now the image. And once finished and compiled, we'll start the container to run. Takes a little bit. Here we go. And let's check. And our collector is running on the backend. Great. So the second step is to create a Docker file to build an image in which we're going to run our Java application. In our case, it's a really little small program called Java Jam. It's right here. We're going to download, or we're going to use a Java 8 image, download our Java Jam, download our agent, and run that all in a Docker container. So I copied already the contents into a Docker file. So here's my Docker file. And we're gonna build now an image from that and then run that as a container. So copying this, paste them in our terminal window, and create that image and start that program to run in a container. So in this case, it's a simple program throwing Java exceptions. That is all what there was from a Docker standpoint. So let's go to our application and see if we can see some exceptions coming in. So first step under OverOps active, I can see here's my Docker container running and here's my Java Jam application running. And I see exceptions coming in. The first time you run that, you get this initial analysis screen. So give it a couple minutes to process that. But here are my exceptions coming in. That's great. Perfect. So with that, we were, simple 2 steps to install our collector by downloading our Docker image and run that. And the second one is to build a Docker container, and you can modify the one which provided you and add your own files to it, or if in case you have your application already running in Docker containers, you can simply add our agent arguments to it, as you can see in our Docker file, and then get that started. So perfect. Here our analysis is gone. Our screens are coming up, and if we click on one of these, we can see the exception, and including the source, the variable state for each of those across all the stack trace of your application. In this case, a small one, but nevertheless, you can see all the variable information at the time when the exception happened. Here's where our negative array size exception was thrown. And here is where it was caught. That concludes this part of the video. Please watch out for my other ones for Windows, Linux, or on the Mac. And if you have questions, let us know. Thank you.